Hi everyone, Jay here with Libertus Inner Strength Training, and welcome to the second half of our video on emotions. In this video, we're going to cover NCPR, which is a technique that we developed to use in-house with our clients here at Libertus, and with everyone else we engage with as well. NCPR is an acronym that stands for 4 steps: name, claim, permit, and release. So we want to name what emotions we're feeling. We want to claim them for ourselves. We want to give ourselves permission to have them. And then we want to be able to release them and let them go. This is a great tool to use in order to get in touch with yourself and whatever you're feeling. I always compare it and say, if CPR is for your physical heart, this is for your emotional heart. I like it. I think it's good. But it is a very useful tool that allows you to stay rooted in the moment and maintain control instead of being swept away by your emotions. To have a strong emotion appear, deal with it in a positive sense, say, okay, this is here, this is happening, but I don't have to be taken away by it. I don't have to fight it, but I don't have to be taken away by it either. I can use it to develop a greater understanding about myself in the situation I'm in. So let's begin. Naming the emotion. When we look at naming the emotion, what we really just mean is being able to specify what emotion or set of emotions we're feeling in the present moment. So this can be something, if you just say something like, well, I feel mad, or I'm glad, or I'm sad, or whatever, these aren't really helpful. These are kind of superficial names for often groups of emotions put together. It's not anything that's going to lead to greater insight. If you want to get greater insight, you have to be able to slice them up, to figure out what different things am I feeling simultaneously here. It can be one strong thing, like it could be I just feel major rage. Or it can be a mix of a few things. Like for example, anger is often paired with sadness. That there's some loss that is there as well that's driving things. And when we look at naming them, we want to be able to not just name them, but recognize them internally in ourselves. So from a coaching standpoint, what we use with clients is if they're in the heat of the moment in the middle of a session and just feeling some intense emotion, one of the best things to do is to kind of stop whatever's happening and go to this emotion and say, where does it exist? From a mindfulness meditation background, we're taught that emotions primarily exist in the body. They're very corporal. They exist here. So let's say, for example, someone's coming and they're saying, I feel just a huge amount of anger or rage or sadness, whatever. But for this example, we'll say anger. How do you know that you're angry? What fingerprint does it have that lets you say, that's anger? I know exactly what that is. Questions we'll ask while working with someone are, where is it exactly? Is it in your chest? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your back? Is it in your arms? How big is it? Does it radiate out? Does it close in? What's its size? Does it have any densities? Does it have any properties? Like a weight or, is it a box? Is it a cube? What is it? Or even, what color is it? What material is it made out of? All of these questions allow us to further develop an understanding of, this is what anger is. This is what anger looks like. So when anger comes later on, I know exactly that's what that is. And these things can allow us to play with a few things on the conscious and subconscious level, especially the question, what color is it? What weight is it? But we'll leave those for another time. So, naming. Being able to specify what emotion I'm feeling itself. Next step is claiming. Claiming the emotion. In the previous video, we talked about Dr. Brandon and how he dealt with the feeling of guilt whenever someone came into his office asking for help and he had to say no. What he did to get over it was largely claim it. He said, I feel guilty. Me, I. The biggest part here is recognizing what is happening, accepting what is happening. To go back to the martial arts approach, This is, once again, like someone's trying to punch me. If I don't accept that I'm getting punched, I'm going to have a bad day. I have to, even if it's not something I like or something I want, I have to recognize this is happening so I can respond appropriately to it. So we're naming the emotion and we're accepting its presence. That doesn't mean we like it. That doesn't mean we're happy about it. But we're not neglecting or ignoring its existence. We know it's there. And so we've named it and we've accepted it. The third step is really the watershed step of this, which is giving ourselves permission to feel. As men, this is often something that's very difficult for us. This is often difficult even for some women, especially those who grew up in kind of very disciplined households, where you have this box of emotions that you have to stay within. You know, and oftentimes I can be tense, I can be angry, I can be calm, but I have this bubble I have to work within, and everything else has to somehow be rerouted to fit into this bubble. Emotions are a natural part of being human, as we've discussed. One of the best gifts we can give ourselves is permission to be human, permission to be ourselves. And that means we must also give ourselves permission to feel everything, whatever it is. Once again, this doesn't mean that we like it or enjoy it, but we have to give ourselves permission to be. Once again, inner strength is all about self-collaboration, not self-conflict. We can't sit around fighting ourselves constantly, thinking that we're going to make progress. We have to be able to step back and just say, this is what's happening right now. It is what it is. So if I'm feeling intense anger, I've named the anger, I accept the anger is there, and even though I wish I didn't have it, I give myself in this moment permission. Say, like, yes, I am angry. I permit myself to be angry. Or I permit myself to feel angry. After this, we've put down the sword. We've stopped the fight. We've said, okay, we're going to work with this. We're not going to try to fight it or ignore it. After this, we move to releasing. So, going back to the grappling approach in the last video, this is, we've named it, this is a punch, we've claimed it, accepted the punch is here, we've permitted the punch to come, we've held on to it, and now we're releasing it. Same thing with our emotions. We don't have to hold on to them. A feeling will last as long as it needs to last, but a lot of times, it's really only a few seconds, a few very intense seconds. I mean, even in the AA and NA communities, whenever you have an urge to relapse, everyone says, please just call your sponsor or call someone, because the urge to relapse is going to be so brief that if you can even have a 5-minute conversation, you'll probably get over it. Same thing with our feelings. We bring it in, we let it go. There's a saying in Buddhist philosophy of what we resist persists. The more we fight our emotions and try to ignore them and say they're not here, the bigger and bigger they're going to get. And this makes sense. If they're a message to us from ourselves, it's going to say, hey, I have something to tell you. And if you're going to shut the door, I'm just going to scream louder and I'm going to keep banging until you accept that I'm here. So if we don't want that, we need to bring them in and then let them walk out the back door. All they want to do is be noticed. That's it. And then we can choose how to engage with them. So we bring them in and let them go out. So a lot of times, sometimes people have issues with releasing. Sometimes this will be people that are very used to responding in a certain way to a certain set of stimuli. And something that's very useful in these moments to keep in mind is watching yourself triggering. Are you keeping this alive longer than it needs to be alive? Or are you letting it pass? Just like this train that we're letting pass right now. And that's really it. This covers most of NCPR. After this, we give ourselves room, we give ourselves permission to be in the moment and to choose. To say, okay, I feel angry. Doesn't mean I have to act in anger, doesn't mean I have to respond in anger. I can accept the fact that I feel angry without responding in a hugely negative or overtaken way where my emotion dictates everything I do. I can still choose. I acknowledge, accept, permit, and let go of my anger. I know it's there. It's okay. I can still choose how I act. That's all this is about. Giving ourselves, maintaining our free will and ability to control our actions and control our ability to choose what future we want for ourselves and for those around us. So thank you. I hope you found it useful. Feel free to write a comment, drop us a line, and I'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.